So let's move from the home page to the Church Missionary Society Periodicals homepage. I'm just going to call it CMS for short now, but otherwise it's a bit of a tongue twister. So, as I mentioned, this is a brand new resource. It was published on the 1st of April 2015. And so far, we've only published one of two modules. Module 2 is due out in April 2016. The first module covers the years 1804 to 2009 and covers periodical material throughout. So it covers the large runs of the Intelligencer periodical, as well as the Gleaner, and then right through to more contemporary publications such as Yes, which is a sort of 20th century CMS publication. A bit of background about CMS itself. It was founded in 1799 and has ever since been active around the globe promoting world evangelism and sort of an Anglican branch of Christianity, but also they've been very strong in areas of social reform in specific countries, particularly in areas such as abolition of slavery and the slave trade, and, as I mentioned before, social reform in various countries around the globe throughout the 18th and 19th, mainly the 19th and sometimes even 20th century. So that's just a bit of background. If you ever want any more background about the resource, there's a full introduction tab which goes into where we've sourced the material, some of the themes that it covers, as well as a plethora of other information that you may find useful. So I'm going to click into the search bar in the top right hand corner. This is a basic search bar, but there is an advanced search page as well if you want to whittle down your search a little bit more. So I mentioned the Gleaner earlier, which is a huge portion of this platform. So I'm going to run a search for Gleaner and India. So this is, it's loading right now, but this is going to be our search results page. So just to take you around the search results page a little bit, if it's too wide, there is a refine search button, so you can maybe whittle it down a little bit more. We have filters, as you can see here, so you can filter by title, issue date, who it was produced by, or countries that are mentioned either within the metadata or the documents themselves. So you can see a huge list of countries here. So we just close that. We can also sort our search results by title, the issue number or the volume number, as well as the three options we have here in this dynamic. So we can view all the countries in each document that are mentioned. I'm actually going to sort this by issue date in ascending order. Okay. So we're going to click into an issue of the Gleaner here. So I mentioned earlier, the Gleaner is a large part of this resource, and it's the more mass-produced Church Missionary Society publication. So it was produced to sell en masse, and it was full of pictures and maybe writing that was a little more accessible to either non-native English speakers or people who perhaps weren't the target audience for the more highbrow Intelligencer, which was a more journal-style publication that CMS produced throughout the 19th century. So we've clicked into a result from our search results page here, and we've come to the document details page for this volume of the Gleaner. So just to take you around the document details page, we can see we have a thumbnail viewer across the top, so we can quickly flick through pages. The red boxes here indicate where our search term appears on the page. We also have this sort of functionality bar here, so we can head back to our search results. We can flick between pages with this arrow. We can search for maybe a different term, so we could search for, I don't know, pregnancy or something. I won't do that now, and then that will return instances of that value within just this document. Download entire documents to PDF, download a specific image range to PDF. There's also a citation and export tool, and just to show you this, we have 3 tabs here which show you your search results in different styles. So we can look at our full text results, the articles in which our search results appear, so we can view just the whole article in its entirety, or just the full list of articles in general. So this is just an easy way to get through this specific issue by article level. So those are the 3 tabs for our results. Now I'm just going to pull this drop down here. So this is our metadata. At Adam Matthew, we really do pride ourselves on the level of indexing and the level of metadata we provide for all of our primary source collections. We have a dedicated editorial team who put a lot of hours and time into making sure that these platforms and these databases are as accessible as possible. So we can see here, we ran a search for India or Gleaner and India. So we can see our search results highlighted here. I'm actually just going to click into maybe one of the pages at the top. So let's start at the top. So we can see here the highlighting where our search term appears. That's because everything that's printed in this resource is full text searchable. So we're in the document level viewer now. We can zoom in and out using these buttons, but you can also, if you're using a mouse, you can use the scroll wheel, no problem at all. Or if you're using a MacBook, you can use pinching and pulling to have the exact same motion as well. We can also rotate images if we ever feel the need. Excuse me, and most importantly, there is a full page toggle. So we can really get in and get a good view of the material. So I'm just going to untoggle that. Now I'm going to bring this drop down here. Whenever you're in a document level viewer within this resource, you can just flick between the articles here. So I'm going to click into this one here. So what this is an article giving an evaluation of what this article calls, I'm just going to toggle that full screen again, the traits of the Hindu character. And there's a lot of these sort of social survey documents that were printed in periodicals, which were sent back from missionaries out in all areas of the globe. So they do have a sort of a noticeable impact on social perceptions and the way certain cultures are portrayed or dealt with by the CMS. So we can see here this is 1828 this article was written. Again, this is an example of an article from the Gleaner, which, as I mentioned, a huge bulk of this resource is made up of Gleaner issues and volumes. Let's click into another article here. Again, all we're doing with that drop down is flicking between different articles within the same issue. It's a really easy way to navigate. So I'm just going to click off here. Toggle full screen again. Search result highlighted here. Okay, so that's just a really, really small taste of some of the printing material within this resource. I want to show you some of the more visual material that we've selected and made it a separate part of the resource. These albums are within the main documents list, but we've pulled them out and made them part of an image gallery as well, because we think they need to be as accessible as possible for all levels of student, really. So these are 3 volumes of album. You can use the thumbnail scroller across the top. Again, we can see all our indexing here on the document details page. Toggle full screen. So we can see here, cultural perception and views on gender, social hierarchies are a huge part of these, mainly westernized origin periodicals. There's a lot of very important social and colonial material in here, which we think is very valuable and important. So I'm just going to head back to the home page now by clicking the top. So I'm just going to head into the full documents list. We ran a search earlier, but I'm actually going to just get to some material through the main documents list here by clicking documents. I'm going to head into the Church Missionary Atlas. So what this is a fantastic volume of documents that we found in the Church Missionary Society Archive in Oxford. And what this is a collection of maps from key mission areas, notably Africa, and as well as the Middle East, India, Japan, and then New Zealand and Canada as well, which it's quite interesting. So what this is it includes things like there's a map of the world by religion. Importantly, there's language maps and also maps identifying sort of dignified mission stations, as well as those of other missionary societies as well. So if we just scroll along the top here, so we can click into some of the Atlas material here. It's probably worth stressing, actually. I'm just going to head back to the document details page here. One thing I forgot to mention that is definitely worth mentioning is that all of the indexing that we do here with the keywords, names, countries, you can click through these. They're all clickable, and that will search this specific document. That it will search it for instances of this word. So again, I'm just going to scroll along. Click into this map of Africa. We can toggle full screen. Again, so some important map material within the atlas itself. Again, as we saw before, there is a drop down within the atlas, and if there is a substantial amount of visual material within a certain book or a certain volume, we do include a visual materials tab as well, so we can click into some different styles of visual material, primarily maps, as this is an atlas. Now, I think this is an absolutely fantastic map. It's a language map of Africa, which if we just toggle full screen, can maybe see a little bit more about. There we go. So yeah, a lot of these documents provide, a fantastic sort of anglified vision of Africa and a survey of certain parts of Africa that there may not have been so much information on before. And it's in that way, it is an extremely useful resource. And some of the, as you can see, some of the visual material in this within this collection is fantastic. So we've seen the Gleaner pictorial albums. We also have an image gallery that our editors have put together, and we've broken it up by document type here. So we click into photograph, we can view some of those. Bit of functionality. We have a drop down just to flick between image types. We can search which periodical we want to see images from, decade, so I think some of these photos are really, really good, and there's some really interesting covers as well. So we can use the arrows up here to flick between images. So with each image, because the image gallery is effectively treated as one sort of, in quote marks, document in itself, we do have a drop down in the top right hand corner here, which is going to give you basically the basic metadata for each individual image, and also where it's from. And you can click through there to see where we sourced this image from, which document within the collection. So that is just some of the visual material we have here. I'm going to click the logo to head back to the home page. Okay, I'm conscious of time, so I am just going to show you. Actually, I suppose it's a choice. Would you like to see some more documents, or I'll leave it up to you. Would you like to see some more documents for the last few minutes, or would you like to see maybe some more of the interactive style features? If you can put in the chat box, or I can just make a decision. What would you like to see? Interactive features, okay. Any other takers? Okay. All right. Well, interactive features. Okay. We'll work with that. Okay. So we've seen just some of the visual materials. We also have an interactive map and map gallery. If we click into the interactive map, What this allows us to do is basically use an animated globe. We can pull this around, and we can select countries from a geographic perspective. So we need to choose the sort of main bulk area first. So if we click Latin America, we can either use this list across the top here. So if we click Argentina, or we can use the map itself and click on countries here. So let's maybe select Uruguay. And then we can use this interactive map to basically plot the areas and we want to search the collection with. So if we select the countries we want, I've picked Argentina and Uruguay, and then I can search the collection for instances of where these countries are particularly relevant. And by relevant I mean appears in the metadata or the full text searchability. So again here our relevance charting has brought this back. So document details page here, we can see the indexing, all the same functionality as I pointed about earlier. Click into the thumbnails at the top here. So we can see here actually, if I just close this, we can see here that by searching for Argentina and Uruguay on our interactive map, it's brought back this page within a bird's eye view of the South American Missionary Society, and this is basically just a map indicating where where the main mission stations are and main sort of cities. So we can flick to next page. So there we go. So that's what we have the interactive map as it's a tool that we find that maybe lower level students, maybe undergraduates who aren't particularly well rehearsed in researching databases, we find that this is a bit of a simpler way into the material, or maybe for high school students who are just starting out on learning how to do primary source research. We use these interactive tools to basically make material which can sometimes feel a little bit advanced or a little bit scary, and we make it accessible hopefully on a slightly easier to manage level. I'm just going to quickly give you a glance at the map gallery, which looks a lot like the image gallery, except you guessed it, it's maps. I really like this Brazil map actually. Let's click into here. So pull down the metadata. You can see here this is from a 1999 issue of Share. Okay, and just to briefly skim over the Explore tab. So I mentioned that we try and make our resources as accessible as possible for all levels of researchers. The Explore tab is going to be a really good starting point, just again for maybe researchers who are new to the area or students. Here we have a jam-packed section full of biographies, bit of context materials. We have an interactive chronology, some essays written by leading scholars, as well as some popular search terms if students are a little bit stuck for where to start with researching this database. And one thing that I've been requested to answer throughout a few webinars this year Adam Matthew do a lot of work with discovery service providers, so we work with all the main big ones, so Serial Solutions / ProQuest, Ex Libris, EBSCO, we work with Paratext, we work with basically all the main big ones. So if you find that you can't find Adam Matthew material within your search engine on your library homepage, please just let us know or let your librarian know, and we can fix that without an issue. We try and make our resources as discoverable as possible. So I'm just going to head back to the homepage. That is it for today's session. 3 seconds over, but that is it. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thanks for your question, Florence. Will there be any additions to this collection in the future? Aside from the Module 2, which I think I meant... Oh, I may not have mentioned. Module 2 is publishing in April 2016. That is covering mainly Asian content, to be honest. It's not as widespread and as global as Module 1, but there is a lot more region-specific material coming in April 2016. Beyond that, we have no plans. However, we are always open. We're always in discussions with archives and doing a lot of development work to see whether there is material that would be of a benefit to some of our collections. So we're always open to ideas. Any other questions? Yes. Will Module 2 be within this interface? Yes, it will be exactly the same. We'll just build the content into the documents list, so it will look exactly the same. Have the same functionality. Your searches will return more results. If you have any questions or you'd like to request a free trial of this resource, so please feel free to get in contact with me if you'd like to have a play around yourself. Okay, so that's it from me. Have a great day, and hopefully I will speak to you soon. Bye.